Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cafe Enchante, and we are still in Il's route. Surprise! It's like you didn't know that. Like 2 days later, and you totally forgot. Look, 5 minutes later, and I forget everything, so it's okay. It's all right if you forget things after 2 days. But at any rate, we were just popping into Il's perspective, if I remember correctly, and we had like a weird staticky screen. There you go. That was me doing it. And here we are now. Okay. This is what we saw. Are we supposed to be? I thought we were ill, right? Well, anyway. Calling. Speaking. We'll pretend we're ill, because it's weird, because it's usually blue on the corner, but 2 figures, and they smile softly at me. Why? Why me? Why a face like that of all things? And no matter what I think, I fail to understand. But I feel compelled to respond. If I don't answer that gentle voice, I sense without any basis that I'll lose something. But I don't know how to answer. So instead I try to extend my hand. Yeah, okay. I just want to hear it one more time, that voice. I extend my hand to the figures. I'm so close to reaching them. And the figures vanish. What appears in their place is red. Red, red. Sinking into it are 2. It was weird because it wasn't blue like his, but I'm like, I remember us going into his perspective at the end of the last part. Okay. I mean, that's why I read it, but... And I mean, we seem to be in, like, the weird angel robot holding cell. I shout words without meaning and leap. While not as bad as this morning, my breathing is rough. I desperately try to calm it and survey my surroundings to get a grasp of my location. In an empty room at Enchante. Right. The moment we returned, Ignis and the others forced me to go to bed. Still, why this memory, now of all times? Oh, it was a memory, so that makes... Okay, at least it wasn't a premonition of, like, us dying or some shit. I mean, bad ending maybe, but, like, you know, it just concerns me. I blame the contact with the angels. So they really did seem to know about me. Fortunately, they didn't speak of my background. However, I think that's only a matter of time. And no, it's still possible to deal with this. In short, I need to restrain the angels myself before they contact Spacey and hand them over to the GPM. Furthermore, right now, I need to prioritize consideration of something else. Spacey. I cannot shake the image of her crying face from my mind. She shed tears while grieving at the death of the school of Pakus. But this time, unlike the last, nobody died. Why did she cry? Was it something I did? He definitely acts like a fucking robot. Why? With staggered steps, I rise from bed and return to my own room. I reach for the game console set near my hammock. It's not powered on. How far must she have progressed into this? Calculating from the time she started, there's no mistake that she's begun approaching the truth. My brain calls for stillness. Any further is dangerous. Don't get taken in. I've long understood such things. However, in the end, this is all I have to cling to. Gazing at the screen, showing only my own skin. Oh, showing my own face. Wow, why did I think that said skin? That's gross. Weird! I don't know what is wrong with me. Weird. Oh, face and skin aren't even close in words. I mean, your face has skin on it, and there's skin on your face, but like, I don't even know. Gazing at the screen, showing only my own face, seeking an answer, I repeat. Why doesn't it make any sense? Why? I know I played it just as you have. I don't understand. I don't. My head creaks. What is this uncertainty swirling in my chest? For some reason, slowly, inside my head, an unknown black thing swells within my cranium. Like, what the fuck is happening? I was like, what is this? Are we still ill or are we someone else? I'm just gonna read it like, I don't think we're ill because it transitioned. The plan progresses without any deviation. Soon that thing will manifest a nova of mental instability in him. Currently captured specimens are sufficient in number. At my voice, the fools with black-stained wings thrash about in exaggerated motions. I don't know what they would complain about, but there's no need to know. I simply fulfill the task entrusted to me. I feel like this is, Mr. Assistant. Because he doesn't want to answer and he keeps saying him and he's very robotic. And like, I mean, I'm just getting a feeling here. Oh, fallen angels. Our God has bestowed the chance for forgiveness unto you. If you wish to seize it, I narrow my eyes and declare. I'm just reading normal. I was like, overcome your fate of judgment. Please cheer up. I want to see your smiling face. Is there anything I can do? If you so desire, then I shall move heaven and earth to do it. I cut the power. This isn't the time to play games. While I know that, when I spotted this when I woke up in the morning, I was too curious to leave it. I played a bit more. Even I don't know why I decided to turn the power on. It's just, there was a vague anxiety in my heart. He looks angelic, like, it looks like wings, but also a halo kind of on the character, so, like, I'm just, like, this game could hold some sort of key, or at least I hoped. I need to have a meeting with everyone soon. I should go downstairs. What meeting, you may ask? Of course it has to do with the abductions. Even though it hasn't been a whole day, the amount of kidnappings was growing and the hubbub would soon become impossible for GPM to keep secret. If it was all over Japan, or also overseas, an excuse could still be made. But the missing people only come from this town, from the vicinity of Enchante. Due to this, GPM increased their surveillance on IL significantly. In the middle of this, Rindo makes a bitter face, arriving with a certain person in tow. And GPM's upper management have made a formal request. They demand the handover of the fallen angel for assisting Kylam in their abductions. Everyone seems unsurprised and no one moves. Earlier that morning, Miser returned. We hoped to speak with him about Kylam and the angels, yet they came at the worst possible timing. Miser shows up and he's like, "The fuck happened while I was gone? This is why you shouldn't leave us at night. All hell breaks loose when you go back to hell. Jesus." As expected, Miser makes a displeased face and looks straight at Mr. Assistant. After hearing that, we just say, "Here you go." Oh. After hearing that, we just say, "Here you go." It sounds like after hearing that, as if after hearing that, we just say... That seems like he'd be more saying that, like, as if after hearing that, we just say, "Here you go." Nope, that chance buster. First off, you're a subordinate in the research department. What authority do you have to make this arrest? No, that's... And truthfully, he works for the intelligence division. Therefore, I was reappointed. Since Kaoru Rindo's favor for this shop is a conflict of interest, I am your new monitor. I'm sure Rindo tried to oppose that, but it was no good. I knew that to be the case. While Rindo probably had no desire to help him, makes no attempt to obstruct him. Yeah, I mean... Okay, he's got to be behind all the abductions and shit like that, and he is some kind... That's why he's covered. He's an angel, too. Like, I'm just saying, that's the... angel robot, okay? Because he's very robotic in the way he talks, which you could just figure, like, whatever, but now we get the robot feeling. I'm not saying he's a robot, but I'm just saying that'd be kind of cooler. Regardless of your circumstances, we cannot hand ill over to you. Why? Would I require your approval? What? We only seek to negotiate with the manager of the shop and its non-humans. In other words, the owner. You are nothing more than guests. You have no right to interject. The conversation suddenly swings to me. Well, I object! And I give Canis the right to interject his objections. That's not possible. Suddenly demanding us to hand ill over to you is too much. Without hesitating, I refuse. Stay calm. I say this to myself and face Mr. Assistant. True, ill has secrets, but I'm the owner of Enchante. I need to trust my regular customers more than some unknown researchers. Of course, ill is some sort of relation to the angels. After all, they come from the same homeland and they're the same race. But isn't it too much to suspect him just because of that? He received a request from their he received a request from them for assistance. You were the one to provide such a testimony. That's true, but ill fought them. He saved my friend. Isn't that better evidence than anything that he refused their request? Better evidence than anything that he refused their request? Okay, I read that weird, but it's possible that it was an act arranged beforehand to make that story seem coherent. Is there any proof of that? That silence must indicate otherwise. I start to stay silent to press the point further, but I take a big breath. I believe in ill. There's no way he would help with kidnappings. Oh? What reason do you have to declare that? Huh? My body stiffens at the unexpected rebuttal. Mr. Assistant's cold voice resounds from under his hood. Cold like a robot! For some reason, I feel an unexplained sense of dread. Because ill is really honest, and honesty is that fallen angel's true nature. Is that fallen angel's true nature? I think that's what he said, and I just skipped that. Duplicated, but it should have been. Is that? Okay. Do you fully understand the nature of angels to declare that for certain? I want to say, of course. Damage confirmed. Bodily injuries in excess of 10%. Activating self-regeneration program. Gathering and converting key from leyline underground as alternative to spirit energy. Commencing reconstruction of body. So fucking robotic. If he's not a goddamn fucking robot. Like... That memory flashes by in my head, blocking my throat from objecting. I thought he would mercilessly press the point, but... Contrary to my expectations, Mr. Assistant doesn't question further. Regardless of the lack of basis, it's true you expressed refusal to his arrest. However, we also lack definitive evidence. As for using force, it's clear that the result would be similar to the battle 5 years ago. Therefore, we shall change the negotiation. You're sounding awfully much like a fucking robot. I don't trust you now. I mean, I didn't trust him before. Look, he's been pretty sus since the moment he sprung up on screen wearing a hood like that. You're like, dude, you're suspicious. You can't even see your face. And like... And I mean, how do we know that those patterns on his little face mask thing going on there aren't like angelic patterns? We don't know. We don't know. And he doesn't show himself. As a compromise, we would like to request your assistance with the angel arrest plan. Angel arrest? Affirmative. Execution is tonight. If you accept this condition, we will not request handover of the fallen angel. I look around at everyone to see if it would be dangerous to accept. I think it's not a bad idea. If we capture the angels and get them to spill the truth, it would prove Ill's innocence. Oh, okay, the angel arrest plan. I thought they were like, we're gonna come and arrest Ill. That's the same as handing him over. What am I missing? Okay, that's what I was missing. All right. I got the piece of the puzzle now. I figured it out. Right? And I don't like sitting around letting those angels do whatever they want. Harming humans we're familiar with isn't favorable either. With Rindo's advice, Canis and Ignis nod in approval. Only Miser maintains his silence. But I want to prove Ill's innocence, too. I understand. We'll cooperate in whatever way we can. Following the majority vote, I give the final answer as the owner. An arrest? How are you going to do that? Are you going to set a trap? Affirmative. We shall use a lure and wait for the angels to act. A lure, you say? Tell me you're going to use a person. They're going to use you! They're like, we will use a lure. Ah, fuck. I feel like a smart character. She's being a little dumb right now. We will use a lure. Ah, fuck! That's what should have come out of her mouth right then. Not, what? You're going to use a oh. There, Rindo shakes his head in denial. That would be too harsh. We'd be grateful if Miser could use an illusion or get some other help along those lines. Oh, good. Thanks, Rindo. Whew! Pats him on the shoulder. Cause, like, I fully expected that we were going to be the bait. Look. That's exactly how it would normally go. You know this. I've watched enough Scooby-Doo. I know how this fucking shit goes down. Of course I could do that. However, at night, I need to return to the demon world. Oh, right. You always go back every day, at least before the turn of the date. Yeah, so even if I join the operation, I'd leave in the middle, most likely. If I can go to the demon world right now, I could take care of various business and help out even during the night. I reject that idea. You were also suspected of cooperating with the fallen angel. Thus, you are forbidden from leaving the human world before the operation. Of course, if you break this prohibition, suspicion of the fallen angel will deepen, so expect his freedoms to be restricted. That means Miser's going to be forced to leave in the middle of everything? By the way, do you have any intent on letting Ill join the operation? I'd be like, that sounds fucking suspicious. Why is Miser a suspect in this? What proof do you have aside from the fact that then all of us should be fucking sus? If you're saying, well, because what? He's friends with him? All of us are. So every single one of us should be a suspect then. That we're all plotting with the angels to kidnap humans. Okay? You got no fucking legs, buddy. You're just floating on air. You ain't got no legs to stand on right fucking now, okay? Like, don't give me that bullshit. Miser is gonna fucking leave, and he will fucking come back. You don't be a dickhole. You're doing this on purpose because you want Miser to leave? Because he's behind it all? Yeah, I mean... Look. Come on. Put the pieces together! You think a main suspect should participate? Right. In that case, I shall bring several fairies from Medio proficient in illusion magic. While a little difficult to handle, if commanded by the Queen, they should do it. At Candace's suggestion, Mr. Assistant says it would be useful and makes arrangements for time. Then he accepts a temporary return. Alright, then it's settled. Taking Ignis hitting his two clenched fists together as a signal, the plan is set. It will execute tonight. We projected the time of the next kidnapping, which is when the fairies will scatter decoys. Candace and Ignis, along with multiple GPM personnel, will patrol the area. If any angel trips a trap, they'll rush over and restrain them. Rindo will be at GPM headquarters to take command of Intelligence Division personnel. Me and the suspect Ill, along with Mr. Assistant as a monitor, will stay in the shop. Miser will also stay at the shop on standby and will rush over if something happens. I know I just get in the way, but I hate not being able to contribute. After the roles were divided out, I was sighing in dejection when... Mr. Assistant, was it? Mind if I share a thought? With a face hard to read for emotions, Miser speaks to Mr. Assistant. You don't have to wait until night. Why not just search for the angels right away? Earlier hours mean more people. But we could use perception obstruction to take care of that. Even if we discovered them, if a battle commenced in a crowded area, there's no guarantee GPM could bear full responsibility. Neither hides their suspicion, and the two silently press their views into the other. I just want to watch Miser kick his fucking ass. Just saying. Any further argument is useless. Bear in mind that any further objections will deepen suspicion towards the fallen angel. Now then, I have surveillance work to do. I'll be borrowing a room. Oh, in that case, there's an empty... I have a grasp of the internal layout from the medical examination of Karya Abe before. Guidance is not required. Mr. Assistant cuts off the dispute on his end, then quietly goes up the stairs. The inside of the shop is suddenly silent. During this, Candace walks over to Miser. Miser, I have something to ask you as well. There's little time with the operation, so I'll be direct. Until the operation, sorry. While he initially tilts his head in puzzlement, he doesn't have a head to tilt! You're just guessing! At Canis' stern... Oh. Miser tilts his head. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, never mind. While he initially tilts his head in puzzlement at Canis' stern words, Miser quickly goes back to listening. Now that I think about it, since before, you've always been concerned with ill. Extremely so by restricting his outings. He's like, 'cause I know he's a fucking robot! Robots are weird, they don't deal with people. Miser, are you still reluctant to allow ill to go outside? Well, if you leave him to himself, who knows what he'd do? Going outside with her isn't much different either. But is he really so bad that you need to get overprotective? He's way older than me, for one. I get all your points, but I still worry. That's because he's known him longest. And he's like, Miser knows some shit, doesn't he? I feel like Miser knows fucking everything, and he just is like, I know everything. He knew, he's like, well, Benny is gonna throw you into a fucking flower and try to kill you. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't be fucking surprised. Until now, I thought you were the same as me, influenced by Ill's risky behavior. But in reality, that's incorrect, isn't it? Candace, are you accusing Miser of shit? I mean, it's probably true, but, like, simmer down, buddy. The latest incident and Ill's past, you know something about him that makes you protect him, to keep it from coming to light, don't you? That really was direct. Everyone here waits for Miser to start moving his lips. After a lengthy silence, Miser slightly averts his gaze under Canis' questioning. Then... I know nothing at all. In fact, if I knew, it would have been much better. He mutters this somewhat bitterly. He's like, I don't know anything. Are you sure? Afterwards, at the same time, Rindo returns to GPM for the operation. Wait. Good morning. With an almost singing, yet elegant yawn, Ill comes down the stairs. Effects of the day before's injury or agitation from the events, it's as though not a single trace remains of such things. Without noticing my sense of discomfort, Ill heads at his own pace to an empty seat. Morning. Thought you weren't coming back down. So you really did go to sleep? But yesterday, weren't you and Canis the ones who said to sleep? I simply complied with that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you were that kind of guy. You're quite leisurely for someone suspected of abduction. Suspected? What do you mean? You see, with a bit of awkwardness, I start talking to Ill when... Ill lightly presses his temples and groans. Ill, are you okay? You really must still feel unwell. No, I'm fine. And more importantly, could you continue? Is he really okay? While concerned, I explained the general situation to Ill. I see. True, in a situation like this, it can't be helped that the eye of suspicion would fall on me. That's putting it lightly. Still, it's the truth. Even if I shouted that's wrong, the suspicion wouldn't be dispelled. However, are you really all going to apprehend the angels? I have some opposition to that. It's clear up the... Oh, whoops. Yeah, sorry, can't read. It's clear... Wow. It's to clear up the suspicion on you. Quit complaining about it. Ill, with this opportunity, what kind of world is Kylum? Can you tell us from your own mouth? I already spoke about that during the investigation with Rindo. I said it's a beautiful world. For some reason, everyone looks at me at the same time. Just a feeling, but they want me to start talking with Ill and get information out of him, I think. Fine, I don't mind. Then, for starters... I say this and start searching for words that Ill will swallow. What kind of world is it? I can already see asking like that will only get vague answers like just now. In that case... Alright, it's settled. Ill? About Kylum. Besides angels and fallen angels, what kinds of things exist in that world? God is there. Huh, I see. God. Miser's like, what? They're all like, God? He said it so casually. Everyone shouts in surprise at the same time. By God, you mean that God? What if we don't believe in that God? Where does Buddha live and, like, everyone else? It's all the same person, we just call them different names. Probably. Maybe, if you want to believe in religion. I'm just saying. Like, it's probably all the same God. You just call them different things and you tweak it. I'm just saying.
Yes, and the one in heaven whom the angels serve.
What? I can't say I expected this.
I don't understand why everyone's so surprised.
It seems like Il decides we want more details about God. Well, I mean, I get Il's point. Like, why are you all surprised? I'm an angel, and I live in a heavenly world. It would kind of follow that there would be some type of godlike figure. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, what? God and angels exist? There's one in I mean... Also, God's just the programmer who programmed the robots. There is some shit that's just gonna come out of fucking nowhere and you're gonna be like, holy fuck, what? And it's gonna be because he's a robot.
To the angels, God, his commands are absolute. On the other hand, there's no other reason to act. Fallen angels are beings who either ignore such commands or break the law he established. That applies to me.
The law? So you guys have annoying rules just like the human world?
Yes, well...
In that case,
the mysterious disappearances now are literally planned by your God himself?
Il nods yes.
However, there's something I don't understand. I told Rindo about this before, but heaven is an extremely insular world. Including the wormhole incident, they're very wary about other worlds, but other than that, they're completely indifferent. To abduct humans, they wouldn't do something to cause trouble for themselves.
Are they trying to start a war? Like to conquer the human world? In the past, there were guys who came out of the gate to do that. We beat them up and sent them packing.
No, I can declare that to be impossible.
How are you so sure?
And that act would be what God dislikes most. His highest priority is peace in heaven, in other worlds, perpetuity.
In other words, in perpetuity. Well, in other words, not worlds. Well.
Even in the name of progress, any proposal that disrupts the natural order of Kylum is rejected. And that's the absolute law of the heavenly world.
So the status quo reigns supreme. They hate change, good or bad. But in that case, why are the angels here? The angels left the heavenly world and came to the human world. In a way, isn't that change? Indeed, it is clear that this is in contradiction to the law.
I don't know anything concerning that. Something may have happened in heaven while I was living here.
It seems there's no more information that Il can tell us. While we were talking like this, we didn't realize how much time had passed. With little choice, Ignis entrusted with a patrol role and Canis leading the ferries stand up. Still, this is suddenly sounding like a huge deal. I just hope it doesn't get more troublesome. Yeah, that's right. Oh god, are they gonna die? Like, look, nobody's died. Except, I mean, like, Mikado died. And, like, Rindo's route. But you see how they're getting darker? Like, Canis was like, okay, we got thrown into the tree, but then we got out and everyone's our friend. We all live happily ever after. Literally, even Venia and Titania, right? And, like, sure, some fairies died, but they were, like, background character. That didn't matter. Okay. And then, like, Ignis's route, it's like... He's a monster... basically, but it's still like, I mean, it still ended up kind of happy except for Dromi, like, but like, fuck him, right? Okay. And then you get into Rindo's route and it's like, poor Mikado, like, you feel bad for him even though he's like the villain, but like, he literally lost his fucking marbles and you're like, I can't really blame him for being a little batshit insane, right? But like, I'm just like... They get a little bit darker as they go, so like, are all our friends gonna die in this? Are all our friends gonna die in Miser's route? Are we gonna die in Miser's route? But then we wouldn't be with him. Or we're not gonna be able to be with him, isn't it? It's gonna be like, here's your happy ending, you can't be with him. The fuck? Anyway, the sky is starting to stain orange. The time for the operation approaches, and everyone heads to their assigned positions. I'm just not looking forward to the end of this, because if this one gets a little like, oh, it's slightly gloomier than Rindo's route, then I have no hope for Miser's route. I've already had no hope for that route to begin with. Hold on. I'm sorry, my ear itched really bad, and like my headphone was wonking all over the place, so. Then, Miser puts a finger over his mouth and waves me over. Be quiet is what he must mean. What can he want to talk about? Upon determining this, I walk over with footsteps hushed as well as possible, and we go outside Enchante. Holding a large bag, Karia is standing in front of the shop. Huh? Is what I'm about to shout in surprise, but I hold it back at the last moment. Karia, why are you here? I was called by Miser. He said to be ready to stay the night. And that's right. I figured he should be here until the operation finishes. Miser lightheartedly pats Karia on the shoulder like usual, but I can't overlook this. That'll be dangerous. Right now, this is related to the kidnappings. You don't need to be vague. I was told about most of the situation. Disappearances caused by angels, right? If you know, that's all the more... No need for that. It's more hurtful to be left out. I didn't say the details, but I got permission from my parents. No matter what happens, you won't be held responsible, Spacey. That's not the issue. I'm just worried about you. While I'm trying to persuade him, Karia makes a face of mixed feelings. He has ice powers. He can actually help us. He's better off He is better to help protect us than we are to protect ourselves. Girl, do you have a gun or a baseball bat? No. Karia's got ice powers. I'm just saying. Ain't nobody gonna see a fucking ice pick coming for their fucking face. Like literally a giant pick made out of ice. Okay? Please just let me help. I know he's not good at conversation and he gets on my nerves sometimes. But he teaches me math and lends me his game consoles. I rather like ill. So I want to help clear the suspicion from him. It's better to have more people to prove an alibi, right? That's right. Karia was another regular at the shop. He's probably worried about ill. Then I was hit with something obvious. I got it. Thank you, Karia. Let's work together. That's weird. You're not ill, but you're thanking me, Spacey. Karia briefly smiled, but he quickly stiffened his expression. Well, you didn't just call me over for an alibi, right? What was this for, Miser? It's for insurance. Insurance? Miser nods to a window on Enchante's second floor with his chin. That position is probably the empty room that Mr. Assistant is in. We shouldn't be outside in the front, where he can pop out a window. What about Mr. Assistant? I can't read his true intentions. He seems fishy, or... It seems like he deliberately set up this operation to exclude me. That reminds me, he was really insistent on it being at night when you wouldn't be here. Yeah, because Miser would be able to stop him. I nearly forgot, but Rindo is our observer from GPM. In that case, information about Miser going to the demon world every night would reach Mr. Assistant. So far, he's done nothing worth opposing him, so I'm just going to keep an eye out for now. But I just can't trust him. According to him, he also told Ignis and the others to slip by the GPM personnel with them and try to return early. But it seems Miser is extremely wary about Mr. Assistant. It seems that wasn't enough. Well, as they say, just in case. Anyway, mind lending an ear. What is it? Karia walks closer and Miser goes right up to his ear. I can't hear what they're talking about, and Karia makes a confused face. But it seems he agreed by the end. He silently nods back. After that, to hide himself from Mr. Assistant, Karia waits quietly on standby in the kitchen, using the perception obstruction there to mask his presence. I should also watch out for Mr. Assistant's movements. However, I hope nothing happens, but please let the suspicion on ill clear up. I couldn't help but pray for such things. Well, you're praying to a god who's, like, out there trying to, like, kidnap people and shit. I'm just saying! Like, now you're like, well, what the fuck do we turn to now? If I was relying on God, then this fucker's coming down here kidnapping people. Ah! And the operation to arrest Angel seems fishy even to a GPM staff member. Several hours pass since it commenced, even as the date is about to turn over. I throw commands to subordinates running along the halls. The only clue we have to track down Angels is his unknown energy called spirit energy. If we detect a strange energy that doesn't have a hit in the database, contact all units immediately. Understood! The subordinates salute like soldiers, then depart. The combat division can be pretty wild, but I'm blessed with the subordinates under me. As I think this, I hear footsteps from down the hallway. A fine rhythm, unlike the shoes of an adult. Right away, I know their identity and grimace. Unlike those of an adult. Well, who the fuck do you think it is?
I heard all about it, Rindo.
I am happy that he's not dead, though, because I do like Mikado a lot.
Capturing angels? Such an exciting, interesting plan. So why didn't you include me in on the fun?
Because you act like that. I sharply reply to Mikado, and he clings to my leg. Actually, the bags under his eyes are ridiculous. How many nights has he not slept? I realize I'm the one who brought data about Medio, making me at least one factor, and I feel just a little sense of guilt. Still, we're in the middle of an operation. I'll quickly explain him away and toss him into a nap room.
Let me join! It's unfair that you get to hog it all, you underhanded geezer!
This is... Can I drop a fist onto him for this? Huh. Sure, it's fine. Here goes. Without noticing my clenched fist, Mikado starts stamping his feet in frustration.
I already can't do Karya's examinations. My stress is all pent up. If you leave me out of yet another thing...
What? What do you mean you can't do the exams?
I'm saying it's about Karya. He comes here even less for medical examinations than before lately. Good grief, kids these days are so rebellious. They're nothing but trouble.
What? Hold on. Wait a minute. Mikado, didn't you send your assistant in your place to do Karya's examinations?
What? Saying such nonsense to someone who's been up for 5 days straight? You have quite the nerve, Rindo. Listen well, no matter how busy I am, Akira Mikado would never hand over a chance for non-human research to another, would I? I told my assistant to tell him to keep coming here for examinations.
Cold sweat starts to gush from my brow. I immediately take out my smartphone and press the call button. However, the call to Enchante is blocked out by a strange static noise. And what about an SNS message? I thought, but the result is the same. All that displays is garbled text.
Uh-huh.
Because Mikado's assistant's a fucking angel and is fucking up all the technological shit. Shit! I start swearing abuses and run off at full speed.
Wait, Rindo! Where are you going? What happened to leading your subordinates?
Good thing you didn't punch him, huh? Why are we outside an alley? Depending on the street and area, this hour is almost completely engulfed in silence. The presence of raindrops accompany the dull-colored clouds. Miser stayed in the human world as long as he could, holding out to the last possible moment, but about 30 minutes before the date changed... As I thought, it's no good. I'm really sorry. I need to head back to the demon world for a while. I'm kind of curious as to why he has to go back. I mean, we'll find that out in his route, but... For some reason, his face is somewhat pale as he returns to the demon world, so can he not be away from it for a long period of time? Like, is he gonna die if he stays away? As the intense sound of rainfall pattered onto the roof, the only ones left here are me and Il, and Karya hiding in the kitchen. I was told to watch out for Mr. Assistant, so I've been paying attention to the stairs. But there's no sign of him making a move or even coming down here. Not even the sound of the door opening. Was Il not a part of the plan?
Spacey.
Il awkwardly looks down as he speaks to me. Huh? Oh, what is it, Il? Do you want a drink or a snack? Oops! I'm falling back on the knife.
No, nothing like that. I just wish to apologize to you.
Wait, apologize? Why?
After the battle with the angels the other day, I made you cry. I'm sure I did something terrible to you, didn't I? I really am sorry about that.
Oh, that's right. On that day, we ended up not speaking a word afterwards. And after that, we didn't have much chance to speak because of the GPM visits and the operation. No worries. Actually, I'm sorry for confusing you, Il. I'm really glad you managed to rescue my friend. Thank you. But I know he's healed, but just looking at Il's right arm reminds me of that time. The moment pierces through me. I was really sad that you were injured. As the words leave my mouth... Sad? Sad. Sad. Sad? It's as though this is the first time Il has heard that word. He starts repeating it, over and over, mixed with bafflement and incomprehension, like a broken record player. Il? Just smack him, he'll be fine. That's how you... Like, something starts skipping your record, do-do, smack it, it's fine. When I call to Il, he suddenly stops repeating the word. Then, he flashes an awkward smile, baring his teeth.
Regardless of the reason, I no longer wish to be the reason for your gloom. So...
Il stands from his chair, then slowly walks towards me. Is he going to kiss me? One step. Another step. CG? No. With a cheerful smile.
Please cheer up. I want to see your smiling face. Is there anything I can do? If you so desire, then I shall move heaven and earth to do it.
You knew where it was going. I wanted to see your smiling face, and you knew exactly where this was going. I thought it was just my imagination before. Il? But now it's certain. I reflexively stand up from my chair and back away from him. Like, you know what would be interesting? Okay, he comes from the heavenly world, blah, 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 he's an angel. But, like, what if the quote-unquote heavenly world is really, like... Because he acts like a robot and they have to deal with, like, ley lines and shit, and they... You know what, like, it's robotic, but it's almost like, and he's really good with technology. But what if the quote-unquote heavenly world was just, like, almost like... The beings that live there, like Il, are actually just characters that were created. It's like a computer world. Where, like, things you create in the computer... So, i.e., like, he is that character in an Otome game because he lived through that game. He was created for that game, and that world that he came from is, like, this world where computerized characters actually fucking exist. So, like, it would be like everyone in this game actually exists in that world, and then somehow he ended up here. But, like, he can't be like, oh yeah, no, I came from this world where, like, Otome game characters are real. That would be, like, fucking weird. So for some reason, they're disguising as angels. But then why was everyone else doing that? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. But it's like, there's some kind of weird connect with, how does he... Or it literally is just because he's such a fucking robot. And that's the way heaven works, this world works, is like, we do everything like this. And breaking that, you're basically a robot. You know what I mean? Think about, like... Any machine, it does what you tell it to do. And if it started to think about shit for itself and was like, well, bitch, I'm not gonna fucking toast your Pop-Tart. Fuck you. Like, if your toaster started talking back to you, right? Like Alexas and shit do. Well, fucking creepy shit, okay? You know what I mean? It started getting sentient. It'd be, like, fucking crazy. And that's, like, the heavenly world. Like, they're just robots. They do what they are told. They are programmed. And then they start thinking for themselves like he did. But if he played that Otome game and that's the character he identified with, like... But it's also weird, because you could say, like... Because she thought that, like, oh, he's just copying the character. Maybe he doesn't realize that he's copying the character. But it's funny, because... At the same time, he made a comment... When he's... Like, oh my god, I shouldn't have had to play that game. She's going to realize who I am. Instead of being like, oh my god, she's going to realize I'm full of shit. I mean, I guess because for the purpose of the game, they wouldn't say, oh, she's going to know I'm lying. They want you to be really confused, because otherwise you'd be like, oh, he's lying and he's just pretending, like, he's just repeating lines from this character. But it's kind of like, but why? Is he doing it because he doesn't realize that he's copying this character? He doesn't want her to realize that his personality was based on this character? And he's not who he says he is? Like, I mean, that could literally be it. That's the simplest explanation. I hope it's more complex than that, though. Like some kind of like weird. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. It's getting crazy. I love it. I love his route so far because I just love how shit's going all out. Like, what? They're robot? What the fuck is happening? Are we a robot? Is he an angel? Is he like a computer character? Like, what the fuck is happening? It's so fun. The end is going to be like, oh, that's not as fun as it could have been. I'm waiting for the like, yeah, I'm getting really excited. The ramp up and the end is going to be like, you're like, oh, I thought the plummet on the roller coaster was going to be steeper than that, and it's not going to be as much fun. You know, it's going to be like, oh, we're on a flat. We went on this incline, and I thought when that coaster goes over that hill, it's going to be like, woo, straight downhill. Wah, so much fun, and it's not going to be like that at all. It's like getting to the top of the roller coaster, and then it stops, and it's like, hope you had fun, and then it slowly goes back, and you're like, oh. Cresting the hill just to see flat ahead of you instead of a nice, fun downhill. Anyway. So curious, though. The words, the smile, everything about him, Il and that mysterious man were one and the same. So without thinking, who are you? By the time I realized it, I was saying it.
What?
Am I speaking with the real Il? I heard the exact same line you just said in that game. And not just this time. It happened before. When I say this, Il's face goes pale, and he covers his mouth with his hand. Could it be that he said it without being aware of it? What relation do you have with that character, Il? Everything from his expression and mannerisms are like yours. This isn't a coincidence, is it? Oh! Are we gonna get an answer? And before, when you got hurt, you were so unfazed that I began to worry. Are you hiding something from me? Are you a fucking robot? Including this incident now, I just don't know enough about angels. Hey, Il? Exactly what kind of beings are angels? While I was asking this, part of me wanted him to just deny it. It's just a coincidence. You're overthinking it, Spacey. With the same smile as usual, I wanted him to sweep away these strange worries and chills swirling in my chest. However, he doesn't move, like he's frozen. Oh, he's rebooting! Then, perhaps due to the intense thunderstorm, right when the lights in the shop dim, my question is answered. You remain silent? In that case, I shall tell the truth. Mr. Assistant? A voice falls from the heavens. Oh. Immediately after, with the next roar, without using the stairs, in the center of the shop appears... Told you. Okay, it was Mr. Assistant. Mr. Assistant? No. Use of such a title is not required. For this individual. His voice sounds even colder than usual. Who he faces is... This voice is... You're... Much like when he saw the angel feather, Il begins to lose his composure. I was masking my presence. However, to think he would fail to realize my identity until the very end. I told you he was like a fucking angel. At some point. It seems the human world truly has a negative influence on you. Or is he supposed to be God? Like... As he says this, Mr. Assistant throws off his hood. Oh, we're going to finally see what he looks like under the hood. I'm excited. At the same time, there's the sound of something else spreading. Mr. Assistant's figure. He had big wings that rivaled Il's, and he transformed into a man with divine, pure white wings on his back. An angel? As I stand in shock, Il next to me says his true name in a trembling voice. Solitus? Yeah. Solitus, I would assume? Okay. Solitus, that's what we'll go with. Oh my god, he's beautiful. I mean, like, he's fucking beautiful. Okay, so he was the angel that the shadow. Okay. Which you knew wasn't supposed to be Il. I mean, they could have turned it like Il was doing something against his will, but I just assumed it wasn't, so it was him. So, okay. And don't tell me you're actually surprised. Your malfunctions are considerable, Il. I'm sorry, no offense, but I think Solitus is, like, prettier than ill. Like, not gonna lie. I mean, they kind of look almost similar, which I'm assuming most angels probably do, I guess. But they only want him to be slightly different. There's also something in his eyes that have, like, he's got, like, Karia eyes. Like, when he first showed up, I was like, it could be like Il and Karia's love child.
No, Angel of Judgment, one of my wings, the Apostle.
Judgment? What does that mean? Despite my questioning, Mr. Assistant... No, the young man called Solitus ignores me. Reflected in his eyes is ill, his face pale and trembling.
You are a unique individual in heaven. Therefore, God has decided not to punish you, and instead permitted your return. During your absence, a large number of the defective have accumulated and are in need of disposal.
Defective and disposal, really like defective angels or robots. They're fucking robots!
While I may also be an apostle, I cannot handle it all alone. Now let us return. As before, act as the limbs of God and fulfill your duties.
Il forcefully shakes his head.
No, I won't. I don't want to return. I'm no longer the angel of judgment. I'm not God's servant. I'm a fallen angel. Yes, that's right. To you people, I'm nothing more than defective. How could you see this failure as appropriate to carry out his oracle? Therefore...
As Il refuses with a frightened voice, Solitus...
I reject your false claims. While you declare yourself a fallen angel, you have yet to fully descend. If you truly had fallen, you would not require data collection on emotions like this.
Suddenly, something is thrown to the floor. The thing that landed with a hard thud was... the game console from my room. Hey! Don't throw my fucking Switch, bitch! The power is on and the screen lights up. Of course, what's running is the Otome game I left in it. Probably because it's on auto mode, the text and voice lines progress on their own. When Il sees it, for some reason he screams with no voice. I'm really curious though, so he just played Otome games to learn human emotions and just became the character in that game? Because he has no emotions because he's a robot? So he was just copying that character? That's not as fun, but, you know. I told you the roller coaster's gonna be like, oh, well.
Stop. Please stop. Anything but that.
Il? Il loses his composure even more and reaches for the game console. That moment... Oh my god.
As the only person I trust, I shall tell you my real name. My name is Il.
Il Fado de Rie. Oh my god, his name was fake! He chose the name in the game. You should never have told us about this game, Il. What the fuck? Oh, that's funny. What? The inside of my head goes blank. So, okay, that explains why he didn't want to, like... Oh wait, if she gets this game, she'll know what his name is. And then she'll know that I lied about my name. Oh, that's convenient. Because it's not like, oh, your name's Tom? His name's Tom. Il Fado de Rie is, like, not a very common fucking name for anybody. Il Fado de Rie? That's the name that young man on the screen, who I've had questions about all this time? Wait, so... This is kind of interesting. Who is this person in front of me? Yeah, what's your real name? An unpleasant palpitation shakes my chest. I mean, this is kind of fucked up if you found out you're like, I'm totally in love with you, fallen angel, but wait, but you lied and you know, wait, what? Then Solitus, who had been ignoring me until now.
Spacey Owaki, you had such high praise for this person's character. However, it was meaningless. After all, we angels simply follow God's oracle and maintain the order of heaven.
We are fucking robots.
We are puppets without need for emotions.
I mean, that explains why his face is not changing.
Il, no. This being's true name is Judgment.
He simply imitated the personality of this fictional man. All contact and conversation with you was nothing. An act of falsehood. He declares the cruel truth with no mercy. I mean, it is kind of true, but at the same time, like, Il does have his own personality, because he may have been using that as a basis to form a personality and, like, who he is, but he learned and adapted because we'd say things and we didn't say everything that was perfectly within the game. And he downloaded all of that into his little alien robot. Okay, this is weird, but alright. How can that be real? I tried to ask him, but... She wishes for your denial. Answer her however you wish. He is fucking glorious. Like, look at this bitch. And he looks sad. Why do you look sad for someone who has no emotion? He's pretty. However, you mustn't cite fictional actions or dialogue. You must defend yourself on your own accord. Il desperately flaps his lips without a sound. All that emanates from his throat are dry breaths and gasps, not words. This is amazing. That means impossible, regardless of your precise imitation of that man's personality and estimates of actions he would perform. You are questioned on your emotions. You cannot reproduce a phenomenon that would absolutely never occur to him. Il suddenly raises his head, and his anguished gaze meets mine. He looks at my facial expression. Il, please say something, anything! Call out my new name! I don't know, I just got some, like, fucking... don't know why. It's like, say something! I don't know why that led me to, like, fucking... the never-ending story and, like, the fucking childlike empress. I don't know why. But it just felt right to say it like that. Anyway. He tilts his head in desperation, trying to figure out what he felt, and starts approaching me. He's wrong. This is wrong, Spacey. I'm no puppet. As though trying to cling to me, he extends his hand. Don't back away from him, Spacey. By instinct, I take a step back. Oh, you broke his heart. I'm terribly confused as well, trying to figure out the truth. All I can do is repeat it. No emotions. An imitation. Oh, we just broke Il. Then all the words until now, and that smile before were all... No, you have to believe that smile in that moment was real. Wait, don't go. Don't run away. Spacey. 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 Once again, Il tries to close the distance with me, but that frigid voice stops him. Like, he is Okay, look. I'm sorry. We need a Venia fucking route in a Wait, I need a Venia route, and I'm gonna need a Solitus route. I'm not gonna lie. He's gorgeous. Like, he is goddamn fucking glorious. Look, Il, I know it's your route, but, like, sweetie, if I'm gonna date a robot, it's gonna be this bitch. I like my boy's pretty, and he is goddamn beautiful. Okay. Have you had enough of imitating living things? It's about time to return to being an unthinking puppet. Says someone who's thinking for an unthinking puppet. With Solitus's words as a signal, pillars of light rise all over the place in the shop. From inside the light appear a number of figures. Angels, but... Unlike Solitus and Il, the angels that appeared have wings stained totally black. But even stranger than that are the expressions on their faces. I know Solitus said that angels don't have emotions, but all of them, as though they're afraid, they tremble with hostility towards Il. Because Il would destroy them. Solitus slowly takes one step back, then declares quietly, "Now, conquer this trial of judgment. Recover this individual. Either that, or kill that girl, and I shall agree to free you from your fate." As though instigated by this, "Ah!" One of the fallen angels shouts and releases a small ball of light at me. Spacey! Maybe just by reflex, Il extends an arm as though to shield me and erases it with one hand. With that, I realize it doesn't matter how many of them there are. They stand no chance against Il. And yet...
No, don't come closer. Stay away.
While he should have the advantage, he appears to be the one afraid of the fallen angels. His mind is at its limit. In that case, I shall take the final step. Solitus, standing further back, narrows his already narrowed eyes at him. Spacey Owaki, you had a question earlier concerning the meaning of judgment administered by this individual. In that case, I shall reveal one more truth before your eyes. What? After revealing so much truth already, there's still more to Il? And he looks so glorious when he's about to fight. God, he's hot. I can't help it. I'm sorry, Il, but I mean, this man is beautiful. From empty space, Solitus pulls out a single spear, but he shows no sign of wielding it and simply stands holding it, staring straight at Il.
Don't tell me the attack the other day was you?
Il notices the gaze and the presence of the spear, and his body shakes greatly. The cruel truth crosses with his frail rejection. The result is already clear. By the name of Solitus, proxy of God and apostle of the Oracle.
Stop! No!
Apostle of judgment, I hereby compel you.
I don't want to pass judgment anymore.
That's why he won't, kill the angels, where it was like, he could win. It's like, he doesn't want to, though. Because that would be doing his job. Return to your original form. Be the weapon.
I don't want to.
Judge the fallen, those who defy the law and gain foolish emotions.
Kill anymore.
I can't help it, this man's beautiful. At the same time as Solitus' spear shines beautifully, Il's right arm, injured the other day, starts ignoring his will as it convulses and begins to move. We're gonna go over. Upon closer look, his hand and arm are entangled in threads of light appearing from thin air. With a grinding sound, it manipulates his body as he twists in terror. Then, in the glitter of a moment...
Don't come near! Quickly, get away from me!
Il returns to his original form and points his magic toward the fallen angels. However, his shouts fall on deaf ears with the fallen angels.
I want to live, even if it means killing you!
Just because I gained a heart, I won't be executed for that! I mean, it's kind of true, let them be. With such shouts, the fallen angels fire their magic at Il. During this... Now, kill them. He didn't direct that to the fallen angels. He said that to Il.
I don't want to! No!
Il's scream rings out. It wasn't a good scream, but I can't really scream in his voice, sorry. But counter to his refusal, innumerable arrows of light are released with his shout.
Gah!
The magic fires off into all of their bodies. In a single moment, without exception. Arrows of light bore through all of their chests. Blood splatters all around the shop. It took only a moment for every single one of them to stop moving. In other words, they're all dead. Piles of corpses. The shop is filled with a stench of blood. Well, they should magically disappear. It was such a gruesome sight before me. How the fuck are we ever going to open this cafe again? I get dizzy, on the verge of collapse, but I lean against the counter to stay standing. In the center, the creator of this, no, the one forced to create this sight, stands in a daze. Splattered blood covers his palms, and all of their corpses, their bodies and their blood turn to faint particles of light and vanish into the air. I killed. Again. I was seen. She knows. Seeing me standing there in fear was the last straw. I cannot scream like that. AQRWBS. I don't know what he's screaming, but he's screaming a bunch of random letters. He's screaming and then repeating random letters. He loses it completely. I can't scream like him. I'm sorry. Oh. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What is this pain and strife in my chest? Everything differs from the gathered data. Something like this isn't what I yearned for, or what they obtained. Weren't emotions supposed to be more beautiful and filled with hope? If this is really what emotions are, if it evokes such agony within me, this individual chooses to abandon everything. Oh no. Unique spirit energy detected. Location detected. Connecting to individual 0000 confirmed. Connection complete. Request from individual approved. Commencing execution of requested process. Suddenly, along with an inorganic voice sounding out from who knows where. Oh no. Ale is engulfed in light for a moment, then falls to his knees and stops moving. Oh. Ill? There's no response. Walking over to him is... And this form is where your truest talent lies. Solitus casually steps through the area where the fallen angel corpses were and holds a hand over Ill. Completion of objective confirmed. Apostle of Judgment has been collected. Teleporting to heaven. Damn it! Won't open! What's going on? Ignis, move over. It's no use. Has something been placed over Miser's barrier? Solitus stops his actions. He probably reacted to the voices of Ignis and everyone who returned earlier than planned by Miser's direction. As though waiting for this timing... Karia Abe! Karia comes leaping out of the kitchen and heads straight to the room with the gate. Likely due to being taken totally by surprise, Solitus is unable to react to this, and Karia manages to slip inside. I kind of figured there would be a pause, a good place to stop, but it's not going to happen, so... As expected, they must have set it to closed. Come on, Miser! Where we gotta... Oh, that flipped fast! The time is 0:30. The gate opens vigorously. A presence of overwhelming power flows into the shop. Miser's gonna come save the day. I love it. His route's gonna break my heart, isn't it? Anyway. From the demon world Asmodia, a non-human king returns to face an angel. Oh, he's pissed! Look at the dark around his eye. Oh. However, when Miser notices the sight of Ill collapsed on the floor, I'll kill you. He thrust unprecedented hatred and murderous intent at Solitus standing next to him. The sheer intent to kill seems to become blades and cuts into Solitus. However, he doesn't even move an eyebrow and calmly observes the situation. Miser Rex, I have poor prospects facing you as an opponent. The priority objective is complete. Even without collection, he must eventually return to heaven voluntarily. Wait! He vanishes with a glare of light. The only thing left there is the sound of intense rain from outside and silence to the point of sadness. What exactly what is in the middle of this? I'm totally confused. It's like I'm seeing a terrible dream. But the ruined interior of the shop serves as proof of the tragedy and chaos that occurred here in reality. Reality. The deaths of the fallen angels. And the truth that Solitus mentioned? A broken fragment of glass falls from a table and the shattering sound rings out. I instinctively look over. Il is on the floor, his head still hung down. Fearfully, I walk over to him. Il? I call his name and peer into his face. Oh, it's such a sad but pretty CG. But it's so sad. He's like so dead in the eyes. ill? Hey, what is it? His eyes only say nothingness. Even after I give him a light shake, he doesn't move on his own. It's as though he truly has become a puppet. He simply announces in a mechanical way,
Full erasure of emotion confirmed. Personality data reset complete.
that's all. That is like the saddest place to end it, but that's where we're ending it and we're going into chapter 3. That's sad because we still have 2 whole fucking chapters. We're literally only halfway through his route. Like, holy fuck. So anyway, that part was long, but yeah. So I am going to wrap this part up here and we'll come back into Miser's perspective and Il's round in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.